Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Stoic Compass. I'm Jim Walker, and I'm ready to dive deep into some ancient wisdom today.
And I'm Eleanor Vance. Jim, I'm particularly excited for this episode because we're exploring a book that truly brings Stoicism to life for modern readers.
Before we dive in, if you find value in what we're sharing today, we'd love for you to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support helps us reach more people who could benefit from these timeless principles.
Now, today we're drawing inspiration from Lives of the Stoics, The Art of Living from Zeno to Marcus Aurelius, by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. What makes this book special isn't that it's another philosophy textbook, but that it shows us real people living these ideas.
Exactly. Holiday and Hanselman perform a masterful service by showing us Stoicism not as abstract theories, but as a living, breathing practice through the stories of remarkable individuals who embodied it.
From slaves to emperors, merchants to soldiers, these were doers, not just thinkers. They lived their principles in the real world, often under incredibly challenging circumstances.
So what can we learn from these ancient masters? Let me start with what I consider the most foundational principle. We only control how we respond to what happens to us.
The dichotomy of control. This is truly the cornerstone of Stoic thought, and Epictetus explained it beautifully with his concept of the two handles.
Now, Epictetus lived this principle. Born a slave under a notoriously violent owner, he had every reason to feel powerless, yet he taught that every event has two handles we can grab.
One handle is the difficult external event itself, like a brother who wrongs you. That handle is impossible to lift because you can't control his actions, but the other handle is your perception, choosing to see that person as your brother, someone you were raised with and still care about.
That second handle, your perception, gives you the power to carry the situation. Life throws challenges at us constantly, whether it's a global crisis, job loss, or just a frustrating day. The Stoics teach us that our freedom lies in choosing which handle we grab.
The key is pausing long enough for rational thought to intercede before emotional reactivity takes over. That space between stimulus and response is where our power lies.
I'll be honest, this sounds great in theory, but when my computer crashes right before a deadline, my first instinct isn't to philosophize about handles. It's usually to unleash a string of words my grandmother wouldn't approve of.
That's where the practice comes in. It's continuous training. Instead of reacting instantly, we create space, however small, to ask, is this within my control? What would wisdom look like here?
That pause really is everything. Which brings me to another crucial lesson. Don't do this alone. Every major Stoic figure had a beloved teacher or mentor.
The lineage is beautiful. Zeno had Crates, Epictetus had Musonius Rufus, and Marcus Aurelius discovered Epictetus through his mentor Rusticus. The Stoics understood that wisdom is passed down through relationship.
As Marcus Aurelius put it, only beasts can do it alone. I think about this when I'm trying to figure out something as simple as fixing a leaky faucet. I need YouTube tutorials or I'm calling my dad. How much more do we need guidance for living well?
Mentorship helps us refine our understanding of virtue and navigate challenges with greater wisdom. It's having a living example of the Stoic ideal, guiding us toward that better version of ourselves.
Like having a moral compass for your journey. Speaking of standing out, there's a powerful story about being the red thread. This comes from Agrippinus, a lesser-known Stoic, who refused to attend Emperor Nero's banquet.
When asked why he wouldn't go while others did, Agrippinus said he didn't even consider it. He saw himself as the red thread in a garment, the small, brilliant part that makes the whole beautiful. He refused to be just another white thread, indistinguishable from the rest.
What strikes me about this is that it's not about being contrarian for its own sake. It's about knowing your principles so deeply that compromising them isn't even an option you consider. In our world of social media likes and constant approval seeking, that takes real courage.
This exemplifies two cardinal virtues, courage and justice. It requires inner strength to uphold your integrity when external pressures demand conformity. But there's wisdom in knowing when to stand out and when to work within the system.
And that wisdom often requires keeping your head when emotions run high. One of my favorite practical techniques comes from Athenodorus, who advised Emperor Octavian. Whenever you feel yourself getting angry, don't say or do anything until you've repeated the 24 letters of the alphabet to yourself.
Such a simple trick, but it creates that crucial pause between provocation and reaction. Seneca echoed this wisdom, reminding us that a punishment that's delayed can still be imposed, but once imposed, it can't be withdrawn. Rash decisions fueled by anger are almost always regrettable.
I've certainly said things in anger that I immediately wished I could take back. The alphabet trick, or even just counting to 10, is really about cultivating self-control, isn't it?
Exactly, it's about applying temperance, one of the 4 cardinal virtues. Interestingly, this aligns beautifully with modern cognitive behavioral therapy, which encourages us to identify and challenge our automatic thought patterns before reacting.
So, we're not suppressing the emotion, but managing our response to it. Training ourselves to respond with reason, not just raw feeling. This connects perfectly to the heart of Stoicism, the 4 cardinal virtues.
Wisdom, self-control, justice, and courage. Marcus Aurelius placed these on the ultimate pedestal, challenging anyone to find anything better to embrace.
But how do we actually live them day to day? I mean, they sound noble, but what does this look like when you're dealing with a difficult coworker or trying to stick to a budget?
Every moment is an opportunity to embody one or all of these. Wisdom is seeing situations clearly, distinguishing between what's truly important and what's just noise. When that coworker sends a passive-aggressive email, wisdom asks, "What's really happening here? Are they having a bad day, or is there a deeper issue I should address?"
And self-control would be not firing back immediately, but choosing your response thoughtfully.
Precisely. Justice means treating them fairly despite their behavior, responding to their better nature, not their worst moment. And courage is having that difficult conversation when needed, rather than avoiding it or talking behind their back.
I love how practical this becomes. Whether it's a rude customer, a family disagreement, or even personal habits like overspending, these virtues give us a framework for responding well.
There's no problem so complex that it can't be approached and improved through wisdom, moderation, justice, and courage. These are the tools for navigating life's inevitable challenges with grace.
Let me quickly touch on how this all began, because the origin story is remarkable. Stoicism started around 304 BC when Zeno of Citium, a wealthy merchant, lost everything in a shipwreck. Washed ashore in Athens, broke and directionless, he wandered into a bookstore.
He became spellbound by writings about Socrates and asked the bookseller where he could find someone like him. This led him to the philosopher Crates, and thus Stoicism was born, named after the Stoa Poikile, the painted porch where Zeno eventually taught. A perfect example of adversity leading to profound discovery.
The diversity of famous Stoics shows how universal these principles are. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of history's most influential teachers, focused entirely on what we can control: our thoughts, choices, and reactions.
Then there's Seneca, the wealthy Roman statesman and playwright who tutored Emperor Nero. Despite his proximity to power and corruption, his letters offer timeless advice on managing grief, wealth, and anger. His personal struggles with living up to Stoic ideals make his insights even more valuable.
And Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor whose private journal, Meditations, gives us an unparalleled glimpse into a ruler's daily struggle for virtue. He had absolute power, yet chose to constrain himself by principle. That's extraordinary.
These diverse lives, slave, advisor, emperor, demonstrate that Stoicism isn't for a select few. It's a practical philosophy for anyone, anywhere, regardless of circumstances. It's about striving to be better, learning from our mistakes, and living with purpose.
Whether you're a student stressed about exams, a parent trying to stay patient, or a leader making tough decisions, these principles remain incredibly relevant. The situations change, but human nature and our need for wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control remain constant.
From focusing on what we can control to seeking mentors, embracing our authentic values, and keeping our emotional equilibrium, Lives of the Stoics provides a proven blueprint for meaningful living.
That's our deep dive into Lives of the Stoics. If you're looking for practical wisdom grounded in real-life examples, I highly recommend Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman's book. It might just change how you approach everything.
Here's our challenge for listeners. Choose one Stoic principle from today's discussion and actively try applying it this week. Notice what changes in your stress levels, your relationships, your decision-making. Philosophy only works when it's lived.
Thanks for joining us today on the Stoic Compass. Until next time, remember to pause, reflect, and choose virtue in whatever challenges come your way.
This podcast is powered by VoxCrea.ai, where ideas find their voice.